Okay.
Raccoons are indigenous animals. However, 20 years ago, there I was in New Haven, Connecticut, my stomping grounds. I went to college there. I was there with some friends. I think we were done with a like there was a music venue that still was there. There's a place called Toad's Place where we would
Hmm.
go see shows. And I think we were doing something like that. And then we're walking like we do through Yale at at late at night because that's what you do. And I look over and in like kind of this big garden plot-ish type thing where there's like shrubs and things and there's a building with like a crack in it. Like it's an intentional space. It's not an alley. It's too small to be an alley. But there's this raccoon, this fat raccoon, like the fattest city raccoon I have ever seen. And he looks at me and I look at him and I'm like, "Oh, buddy." And he stares at me, I stare at him, we're locked. And I don't want to approach him because, I understand what rabies is, but it's nighttime. We're fine. He's not dangerous. But he reaches behind himself without breaking eye contact, reaches into the little crack and slowly but surely pulls himself into it while watching the predators that are staring at him from the sidewalk. And he crams himself into this little crack between the buildings and then squeezes away and like just disappears like the mist, just gone. And like just staring at us like no one will ever believe. And I've held on to this experience for like 20 years. And when I thought about the opening scene, the opening image for this book was Corbin jumping off a roof after a raccoon. I'm not spoiling anything. This is literally the first chapter.
It gets me in there, man. I'm like ready to go now.
That is the image. You know how like sometimes you have the image of what the scene is in your head? I knew I was going to include this scene with the raccoon going through the crack in the building. Um, But it's funny though. It's weird because, and this is where urban fantasy is great because you can change things.
Yeah.
Because in my memory, there's this little alley between the buildings. But in New Haven, where I have gone many, many times since then, and where I think I was at the time, there are these like fake little cracks, like fake things
Oh,
between the buildings where it doesn't actually go all the way through.
that's
So
crazy.
I don't know if he just crammed himself in there and it was so dark we couldn't see it, or if I was just like in some other part of Yale that I don't remember. But either way, in my book, that crack exists and it goes all the way through because
Oh, that's
it's integral to the story. So like that just happens now. So architecturally, just go with it. Don't ask too many questions.